Hi beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be just a chat about my life, kind of an update on what's been going on, what I am wanting to do with my life, and just some big kind of changes I'm making. And I'm at my kitchen table today, so we have a change of scenery. I love to film out here sometimes. I just feel like I'm utilizing more of my house and it's more open out here, so I like the energy sometimes instead of my office, which can feel a little bit cluttered sometimes. I mean, I love everything in there. It's just sometimes it's a smaller space, so it's like, you know, I just like the open kind of energy about here. So I have been taking some drastic measures in my life because I have been experiencing a lot of anxiety, a lot of feeling like I'm missing out on life. Things are, I feel like, just passing me by, and time is moving so fast, and I just feel like I'm spiraling a little bit. I have had a lot of anxiety about work lately because I've been working way more often, and I filmed a video a little while ago, but I don't think I'm going to post it, but I was talking about how I am getting back to my spiritual practice. I made a video recently when I came back to YouTube after taking a few months off, and I was talking about where I had been and how I had kind of used tarot more for client readings, and that's great. And I just kind of stopped having a structured practice in my life with tarot just because I felt like I didn't need it at the time. And I was definitely wrong. There was a super full moon last month. I think it was at the end of August. That really kicked my ass. I always have kind of this reaction to full moons and the way that, you know, they affect me. I usually have a lot of anxiety, or I get tired or whatever. So I felt like that full moon just kicked me in the ass and said, you need to work with the moon again. And my head was like, I had the worst headache I've had in so long. So I feel like that was kind of a wake-up call to work with the moon and pay attention to the phases and how they affect me and things like that. Because when I worked with the full moon all year in 2022, I feel like it really helped me in many aspects of my life. So that's something I've gotten back to. And just, you know, having a structured practice, sitting down with my cards and reading for myself. Okay. I keep thinking about this analogy that I've kind of likened my practice to, of antibiotics, right? When you're sick, when you have an infection and the doctor prescribes you antibiotics, they tell you to finish them. Even if you start to feel better, to finish the antibiotics to make sure that they take care of any infection that's in your body, right? To make sure it's completely gone. And I feel like that was kind of my practice, right? I started to feel better. I started to feel like I didn't need to have this kind of structured thing that I did, but I was wrong, and it kind of all caught up to me at once, right? You don't stop doing it just because you feel better, right? You need to do it as more of a preventative measure. So I have gotten back into a practice for myself. I have been really focusing on a few decks, and over the few months that I was just kind of strictly reading for clients and just using my decks all the time, and you know, in that very useful way, I didn't feel a lot of urge to buy a lot of new decks. I did buy maybe like 2 or 3 decks during that time frame, which for me is not a lot. And I just didn't feel the urge to buy tarot decks for quite a while. And when I got back to my practice, it was funny. I kind of felt that urge again. I need this deck for this and this deck for this for myself and all these things. And it was overwhelming. And so I'm done. I deleted Facebook off of my phone quite a few years ago. I think like 2 years ago or so. I recently deleted Instagram within the last 6 months. I don't know exactly. I had a moment just last month where I downloaded TikTok. I started making some tarot videos on there. Some of them were like picking up a lot of views, and I just deleted it again because I was like, I can't do this. I came to a big kind of decision in my life that I'm going to stop using social media or anything like that to try to make a living. Like, I have struggled with that for many years. I've had a YouTube channel since I was 17, okay? I'm 26 now. And I've always tried to make it something that could be a career for me. Instagram, my Etsy shop, my, TikTok or whatever it is. I've always tried to make it like something that I could live off of, because that is what I want to do with my life. I want to create, I want to make things, I want to do art, I want to, do inspirational things. I don't want to go to my 9 to 5, but it's always been a struggle for me. It's always been, the highs are really high, but the lows are really low, and it's never consistent. And I think I'm getting somewhere, and then things backtrack, right? So that was a huge thing for me. I talked about it in the other video. I had this transformation card. I'm in this transformative kind of point in my life. I feel like I'm working through the death card right now. Like, I feel like that's where I am in my life. And that day was really big for me. I was using the Moon Witch Oracle, and I got the transformation card because I was really trying to work with the moon. I am starting to work on my physical health again with losing weight. And, last year I lost like 35 pounds. I was really happy, and I'm trying to lose some more because I'm still not 100% feeling like my best physically, right? So that was a decision I had made prior to this really important reading I did. And then I was like putting these snake earrings on for the day as with an intention of transformation. And I love doing that with my jewelry, really infusing it with my intention for the day. And I pulled the card of transformation. And then I also pulled the 8 of Cups tarot card. And that was it was a big moment, because I was like, I'm going to walk away from trying to use social media, the internet, to make money in any way. I'm done, because it is stressful and it takes away from the joy of doing it. Making YouTube videos, at least, because I am done with everything else. Yes, I miss Instagram and taking cute aesthetic photos of my tarot readings, but I want to do something different. Maybe buy a camera and take pictures of my readings and put them in a little book as like, a tarot reading coffee table book or something like that. And people can flip through it and pick a reading, right, for themselves and just read that, and it's meant for them, right? Something like that. More tangible. I'm trying to get to something more tangible, and I'll flip through this deck in a minute and talk about this. This is the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot. So sorry, it's just talking at this point, but so I decided to walk away from that. And then I started to have issues with buying a lot of things, other things to make up for not buying tarot cards. And I just posted a video on this channel about the lack mindset, feeling like I don't have enough when I have more than enough, you guys. And I'm trying to think back to points in my life where I didn't have all of these things that I feel like I need, and how I was fine back then. Like, there was a point in time when I didn't even know what tarot really was, or, I only had like 1 or 2 decks, and I didn't have that need to have so many, or that urge to have so many. And I was fine back then, right? I was fine without these things that I feel like I need so bad. And I'm trying to just get back to that mindset, right? So I deleted Amazon off of my phone. I'm going to leave it off of my phone until it's like November time, because my husband's birthday is in November, and Christmas shopping, things like that. But then I think I'm gonna delete it again and maybe just go on it on my computer, then I don't have that scrolling thing where I'm sitting on my phone for like 2 hours looking at Amazon stuff, right? If I go onto my computer, it's more of an intentional act of me sitting down, getting on, logging in, and buying something on Amazon, and then getting up and leaving the computer. I feel like when it's in my phone, it's just this issue. So I deleted Amazon off of my phone, and I decided to delete YouTube off of my phone, because I just felt like nothing was safe for me to consume as far as content or anything, because I just watch a video, tarot tube video, and I want something, it like makes me want to buy something that I don't necessarily need, right? So I decided to take a month off. So it's currently the end of September right now. I've decided to not have YouTube on my phone for all of October. And then from there, I will see what I want to do. I might continue this. This might be a forever thing. I don't know. So what I've done is I've downloaded a few videos onto my phone from YouTube to watch when I like work out on the treadmill, just because I like to see something to kind of distract me from running. And I've tried to download like, you know, YouTube tarot videos that are more safe, like tags talking about people's practices, or not really like deck hauls, or, you know, people talking about all these different decks. Like, I want to hear more experiences about people's practices, right? So I've done that, and then instead, and like on my drives to work, I would usually like listen to a YouTube video, but I instead decided to listen to podcasts. So I currently am really loving the Tarot is Fucking Cool podcast, Fortune's Wheelhouse, I think it's called Tarot for the Wild Soul. I've been really into tarot podcasts and listening to people talk about tarot and the different cards, and not talking about the decks they're using necessarily. So I really love Tarot is Fucking Cool because they talk about the tarot card. Like, each episode is about one of the 78 cards of the tarot, and they don't talk about the decks they're using, at least in the episodes I've listened to so far. And I've really been loving their content because they talk about a lot about capitalism and our society, and how like we all have to work to live, and if we don't, like, we can't afford to live. And a lot of what they talk about resonates with me, so I've been really loving listening to that. Listening is different than viewing, because viewing, you see things and you like want them. It's a very visual thing. With listening, it's more of your own kind of mind making up imagery to go along with the words. So that has been really healing for me. And I'm going on a kind of like, at this point, no buy of decks. I have a little wish list that I made for like things I want closer to Christmas, and things I feel like I want before I go on like just a altogether no buy. But right now I'm just putting that out of my head. I don't even want to think about that list at this point. I'm just trying to focus on what I have, okay? And next year I might do something a little more radical, where I, you know, really say I'm not going to buy any decks. And I think not having these apps on my phone is really helping me, or would help me if I do decide to do that endeavor, right? I have gone back and forth, and as of filming this video, I have not decided if I am going to take a break from Etsy at this point for the month of October. I am going to be filming YouTube videos, so that's different than having YouTube on my phone. So I'm going to be filming YouTube videos and uploading them on my iPad. So I'm going to transfer them once I film them on my phone to my iPad, upload them from there, and, you know, maybe check comments and stuff on my YouTube Studio app, but not watching YouTube. I'm not going to be watching YouTube other than the few. I think I downloaded like 10 videos on my phone to last me the month. And if I go through them all, well, you know, I'm SOL, right? So I have some like tarot tags I want to film that are more about my practice, some things that I've kind of screenshotted and took information from YouTube in the meantime to be able to film videos for you guys. But I don't know yet if I'm going to take a break from Etsy, just because I really love doing Halloween themed readings around this time, and a lot of people love tarot readings around Halloween, so I don't know yet. I'll try to make the decision before I post this, so I can kind of update you guys in the description box, of course. So my phone is essentially used for messaging my family at this point, and listening to Spotify, and taking pictures, and, you know, filming videos. You know, I have like my bank app and stuff like that on there. So I'm trying to just limit my phone to only things I need to use on a day-to-day basis, right? And I'm trying to lower that amount as well too of things that I need on there. Trying to live my life in a way where I don't need that. And this is where we're going to talk about tarot and the decks that I have being the only decks that I want to use at this point. This is the Pagan Other Worlds. This has been like my emotional support deck lately, along with the Tarot Arcana Tarot playing cards, which I'll talk about next. But I have brought this deck with me every single day the past week. It hasn't left my sight. I take it out of my purse when I get home, and I have it next to me at all times. And I was listening to one of the videos I downloaded was Mary Grace. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but she was talking about how tarot is the book of life. And it is. It's the book of life, right? It's this tool. It's this magical thing. And you really do only need one. And I want my great-grandchildren one day to have my tarot decks and then be beaten up and used and fraying at the edges and well-loved. This is the Pagan Other Worlds, and I just love this deck. And it's already, like, the tuck box is taped up. It's falling apart already. This is a high quality box, so I know it'll last a while. And these are, you know, like playing card quality cards, so they're gonna last a while. But and I think the reason I've been wanting this deck lately is I need like a less clutter. I need something open. I need something that quiets all of the constant thoughts swirling around in my head, the panic, the anxiety, all of that. I'm just getting to a point where I want to digitalize, or not digitalize, the opposite of that. I want to have tangible photo albums, tangible recipe books. And I downloaded an app recently that was like, it helps you, like it shuts off your apps, which I decided to do that before I decided just to like delete everything. But it kind of like locks you out of your apps for a few hours a day or whatever. And it told me that at the rate that I'm going based off of my screen time, that I will spend 36 years of my life staring at my phone. And that really struck me. That really struck me. And ever since I deleted YouTube off my phone, and I don't have a lot on there that I want to, like, that is tempting me to go on it, I find myself more present in conversations with people, in situations that are happening around me. I already find myself more present. And that's what I want. I want to be present in my life. I don't want to spend 36 years of my life staring at my phone. And I'm still, I don't know at this point, but I still am playing around with the idea of having a flip phone. That's something I haven't decided if I'm going to do yet. I don't know, but you know, there are so many things I want to do that I feel like my phone is holding me back from. And I know that sounds like a lot, and some people might not experience this, but I've had a phone addiction ever since I've had a phone. I was thinking about this today, and I feel like this really makes sense for me. But when I was going through a lot of hard things as a kid, I found the Harry Potter books. And they were magical, and they really transported me somewhere else, and it was an escape for me at that time. And as a teenager, you know, when I grew up and was older, I had my first cell phone, and that was my escape, was to text my friends and not be in my current situation. It was to like be somewhere else. I didn't want to be where I was physically, so I would go somewhere else. And my phone would allow me to do that. It would allow me to escape. Now I feel like I'm using it more to run away. So it's an addiction for me. I find myself picking my phone up constantly. I bring it everywhere with me. It's like an emotional support phone. You know, I find myself bringing it into the bathroom, bringing it, like if I just move from one room to the other, I have to have my phone with me, and I don't want to feel like that. I'm getting more into books again. As you guys know, I've been reading more in my life than I ever have, probably. And that is healing to me. That doesn't bring me the same anxiety that looking at my phone does. I can get lost in a book and escape in a way that I feel like is healthy. I don't feel like my phone is a healthy way because I feel like I'm constantly being pushed to buy things. Everything I click on is an ad, or it's saying, you need this, you need that, when I don't. And I'm done. So, like I said, I don't know if I'm even going to download YouTube again. I might every few often just to download some videos just to have as like a little entertainment, but I don't know yet. I'm going to see how I feel. I thought I would get Instagram back on my phone, and at this point, I don't feel the desire to ever have Instagram again. So, yes. I want to use my decks to the point where, again, they're falling apart. So I'm focusing more on tarot books. I have a lot of tarot books. I have a lot of things that I want to dive deeper with the tarot cards, with the books, and learn more about them and things. So that's what I want to focus on more. I also, you know, I want to, if I do buy something for tarot, I want like to buy more special like little bags for them from maybe small creators, or like if I go to a little fair where people are selling their things, or like a farmer's market, and I find like a little bag, or I go to a small boutique and I find like a bag for a tarot deck or a metaphysical shop or whatever, I want to buy that and like have that as more of a, like a special, treat my cards as more of a special sacred tool that they are. And I want to focus on finding lost things. I have so many boxes I still need to unpack that are shoved in a closet, that I have things that I want to find. I want to find my watch that I lost. I don't know where it is. I want to find, you know, some craft things I've been looking for. I want to find my wedding dress. I don't know where that is. So I want to spend my time doing more productive things like that. What else did I want to say? I don't know, but yeah, I mean, look how beautiful this deck is. It's so good, and it reads really well. I do find this skew is really nice to me. This deck's pretty nice to me. And it's beautiful. And I want to do a little reading at the end of this video, but now I want to talk about this other deck. This is the Tarot Arcana playing cards. And this deck has really, I feel like, helped me make the decision to delete YouTube off of my phone. So this is a little playing card deck, and it is a tarot deck playing card hybrid. So this little deck is the most practical, useful deck I have. It can be used as a playing card deck for playing a game, to connect with others, to have fun with others. And I always carry a playing card deck with me, that if anything happens and I'm stuck somewhere and we're whatever, and people, I have that, you know, if we're bored or we're stuck somewhere or whatever, I have a playing card deck. And also this deck is so fair, and I had a very, very crazy, like, shook me to the core kind of reading with it, where a spirit came through, and it just, wow. And it is so on point and so fair. And I think it having no images here And just having the playing card association with the symbol is really helps it in its fairness, but it just kind of reads the situation and tells me what's going on and just tells me the, you know, what I need to do in a practical way. So yeah, it's a playing card deck, and then it has illustrated courts and it has the major cards in here. So you could take obviously these cards, the majors out, and it'd just be a playing card deck. But this is so wonderful for divination, and these two I've been using together and they work beautifully together. I find the Pagan Otherworlds to be kind of nice to me, so I use it more of as an oracle card, and this kind of this deck anchors the reading more to give me a clearer kind of picture, right? And this little deck, it's small, it's compact, it can fit into a purse easily. I can take it anywhere. It'll last a long time. I mean, I love that it comes in a tuck box. You guys know I love tuck boxes. So like, this is what I want to spend my time doing, is reading with my deck, getting to know it, having it become something imbued with my energy, and just being a magical infused tool that I use. And not just moving on to the next shiny thing. And I don't know, I'm like, maybe I'm romanticizing a life before all of this technology kind of took over. I think there was probably a really sweet spot where we had things like we could call people. It makes our life easier. We can call someone from halfway across the world, but I feel like it's gone past the point of usefulness and is now damaging. Personally, my experience. So I feel like there was a sweet spot where we had some technology, but not where it consumes our lives and is in everything, to where we can't even function without it. I do not know how to read a map, really. I don't know all of these things that the people who came before me did, and I don't like that. And I don't know. I want, if I go to a Barnes & Noble or I go to a bookstore and I see a deck and I want to buy it, okay. You know, that's where I want to go. I do want to like go shopping physically and find like tarot books to read, because before the internet, you would go to a store to buy something. If they didn't have it, okay. You'd have to go somewhere else, or maybe like order it out of a magazine or something. I don't know. But I'm at that point. I'm only 26 and I feel like I've just spent all of my life online instead of in real life. And I'm done. So yeah. And again, this might look different. I might change it up. I might use YouTube in moderation. I don't know at this point. I'm not saying anything's concrete. What I do know is that there's going to be a big shift in my life, and I'm not going back to the way I was. I'm just not. So yeah, I was trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say to you guys. I don't want my content on here to inspire the same things that were happening to me, as far as like this FOMO or anything like that. So I want my content to be a little bit more using my decks, talking about how I use my decks, things like that. I am waiting on some decks that are my own creations, and so that is something that I want to talk about, and talk about my process, and that might be something I do offer to buy, is my own decks. But that's a creative endeavor that I feel like has been healing for me, is really working on decks that I feel like are reflective of what I'm going through at this point in my life, and like just my ideas at this point and all of that. So stay tuned for those kind of videos. And yeah, just more kind of lifestyle type videos. And, you know, I do want to talk more about like how a playing card deck can be made into a tarot. Like I think I want to do kind of a DIY on here where I take a regular playing card deck and maybe like, or two of them, and you know, two of the same, right? Like just buying a cheap playing card deck, two of the same, and then using the extra cards from one of them as like the majors, kind of making my own tarot deck out of a playing card deck to show you that you don't need anything. You could just use something you have around your house, right? So yeah, and you know, I do want to make content like shopping my own collection. I have so many decks that like I could spend the rest of my life studying and looking at and playing with. And you know, just recently I took a deck out of my like purgatory drawer slash my I don't want to look at you kind of out of sight out of mind drawer, and it's something I wanted to get rid of at one point, but now I feel like it's just so good and the messages are so good. So I might do more like deep dives on decks I already have. Yeah, so one of the things that was on my kind of Christmas wish list of what I wanted before I kind of make this decision for next year, because I think next year what I'm going to do is not buy any decks online, and only if I see them in a store I can buy it. But anyway, I really want the Thoth just to have in case I feel like I want to study that. I want something a little deeper or whatever. And yeah, I want to buy like a moonology journal to work with the moon, like in a structured way like that. Like little things that I can do that are more like physically working with things. And I want to get some tarot books that are more like the tarot playbook, like doing different activities with your cards that aren't the same old, just to keep things interesting. So that's kind of where I'm at. This is such a beautiful card. Yeah, so I really like it's very RWS, so yes. But anyway, all that to say, I've taken drastic measures. I already feel a little bit more peace. I feel like a weight has been lifted from my shoulders. And there was all this buildup of like, am I doing the right thing? Is this something that I can really do? And every time I would like go to do something like deleting YouTube off my phone, it would be like, but what about this? What about this? I need this for this. And no, I don't. So it's almost like once I just did it, all those voices kind of quieted. And I feel really at peace. So yeah, come along with me on this journey of trying to make my life less digital. I want to invest in a camera, like I don't even know, a digital camera even, or a like old film camera. I don't know, something that is not my phone. You know, that's one of the things on my phone that I don't want to get rid of a phone, because I can capture things with pictures, but I don't know. So if you guys have dealt with something similar or have been feeling this way or have any advice for me, please, please, please comment down below. I'm still going to be like looking at comments and all of that. So yeah, something to kind of leave you with, but I guess we'll do a little reading at the end here, but something to kind of leave you with. Pick one of your decks that you love and kind of look at it and treat it like it's the only deck you. Okay, sorry, my phone is running out of memory, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But yeah, I just kind of ask you maybe to look at your decks, like, or pick a deck or two decks or like a little pair or something, and just pretend that's all you have for a week or a few days. And that's what I've been doing with these decks. And if you feel like you need to use something else, what do you feel like you're missing, right? Because if you really like look at the decks you have, you can do anything that you really want to do with the decks that you have. Like, I was kind of freaking out when I was really like playing with this deck because it comes with these moon cards, and my dog completely ripped the moon cards up. So I only have one left, and you know, I never used those moon cards, but then all of a sudden when I didn't have them, I wanted to use them because I was like, if this is the only deck I have, I need those moon cards again. And you know, I want to work with the moon with my tarot, but it's like the tarot cards have associations with the moon already, so you don't need that. Or you can just use, you know, like I have my Moonology deck, which I love, which is one of my favorite decks, so I can use that, you know, like I don't need these things I think I need. So, you know, and that is one of the things I might get later on for Christmas or something if I ask for it for a gift, but I don't need it, right? I don't. So yeah, maybe just pretend you don't have anything else. I'm going to be doing some rearranging in my room where I put a bunch of stuff away and only have a few decks in front of me and around me. So I'm going to do a little closing reading here. I've been sitting with this deck and trying to shuffle it into a softer kind of feeling because it just feels very new still, even though I've used this deck so much. And yeah, I want it to last a long time, but I've been shuffling it a lot to try to just give it a little softness, a little wear. I'm not bridging it because I want to also straighten out the bow a little bit. So what do we as a collective need to know? Okay. Ten of Swords. You know, this is literally how I was feeling recently. Yesterday I was feeling like this about a lot of things, and I love this depiction. It's like all of these swords hanging over this skull. It is a feeling of overwhelm, of mental, just death almost. It's like there's too much going on and you need to quiet all of that. I almost feel like even though this little skull has all these like thorns and these swords kind of hanging over it, it's almost like it found its own little serene peace down here if you ignore everything else. I was being very dramatic yesterday too. So this is like about when you hit rock bottom, which I feel like I have in this whole situation I've been talking about. When you hit rock bottom, you're forced to make a decision one way or another. I feel like you are forced to you can't just stay in that place. You can't reside in rock bottom. You can't live in rock bottom forever. You need to move. You need to change something. And I feel like being in rock bottom, hitting this place of like, I felt like everything was screaming at me. I felt like I was in this kind of, all of this commotion was going on around me. I felt like I was in a room screaming at the top of my lungs and no one was listening, you know, drowning. I felt all of these things, and then I had to literally just scream, shut up, right? And just make a drastic choice to leave, delete the app, to leave, to get rid of it. Like, I was almost to the point of just throwing my phone away. And, you know, that's where I was pushed. But I had to do something. And sometimes we're pushed to make a choice. When we hit that bottom place, we can only really go up. And we have to make a drastic choice. Six of Wands, and we have the Death card. So I love that we have the Ten of Swords and the Death card, and then sandwiched here in between we have the Six of Wands. I'm doing this for a reason. I'm doing this to feel like I am fulfilled in some way. The Six of Wands is victory. I'm doing this to get my own personal victory, to feel accomplished, to feel like I am doing the right thing. And I already am starting to feel like that. I feel like I am on this path of doing the right thing for me and my life and my experiences. And the Death card is all, again, it's an ending, a rebirth. It's something has died, something has ended, something is gone, something is no longer here. And so something new emerges, right? I love this so much. Yes. Anyways, okay. Enough of that. I'm going to go now and eat some good food because I have everything I need under my roof and I want to have everything I need within me, and I need to go make some yummy food and read a book. So anyways, I love you guys so much. Please, yeah, let me know if you've experienced anything like this, or if you feel like you're kind of sick of this modern world, or if you love it. I would love to know your experience. If you feel like this is all like happy-go-lucky or government, everything, let me know. And another thing I want to leave you with is just pay attention to what your soul wants. If you quiet out everything else and everybody else's opinions and ideas and ways of living, what does your soul crave? What does your inner voice say? Not anybody else's. What does your inner voice say? So yes, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.